In this lesson, we're going to cover how to rename a feature's name, a sketch's name, how to change a color of a given feature or face. Also, we're going to learn how to change the material properties, and then we'll also delete a feature and figure out what happens from the other dependent features from that. So let's get started by renaming. So there's two ways of doing a rename. I can come back into the browser. I can click in there slowly, just like you would in Windows Explorer. And what I want to probably do is start giving these names so the person after me will know exactly what I meant by some of the operations. So with the extrusion 2, let's look at the second way of doing that. In this case, I'm going to right mouse click while the cursor is over that. And we're going to come back down and click on Properties. So again, we'll give it more of a descriptive name. So we'll just call it cylinder. So definitely a little bit more descriptive than extrusion 1, extrusion 2. Also, if you want, you can do the exact same thing for the sketch if you wanted to. Again, there's really probably no reason to do this, but you can if you want to. So let's bring that back up. So what I'd like to do next is let's go back and let's change the color of that cylinder. So again, I'm going to move my cursor over it and right click, select Properties from the menu. But now from the feature color style, right now it says as part. So for my drop down list, I can go back and change that, let's say blue pastel for the color, and the feature is changed. You'll see the other faces that are dependent on the other feature are not changed. You can also change the color of a face by simply moving your cursor over that face. Right click, Properties, and again changing this one, let's say black chrome. Not appearing real great on the screen here, so I'll just switch that back. I'm going to change that back to as part. Now, if I want to change the color of everything on this part, on the right-hand side of the standard toolbar, it's kind of getting cut off by the screen here. It says as material. From this drop-down list, you can go back and select a given color. Now, you'll notice the override that I did for the first feature has been maintained. So what I'll need to do if I want the entire part to be the same color is go back, right click on that properties, and change the color style back to as part, and everything is now consistent. Now the color override has no effect on the mass property information. For example, the weight of this part. If I want to change the weight, just right-click on the file's name in the browser or go under the File pull-down and click iProperties. Then from the Physical tab, and then from the drop-down, select the material that you would like. So in this case, let's make it out of aluminum. And then once we select the aluminum, the mass property information will update to reflect that. But you'll notice what didn't change is the color. So I would need to go back to the color drop-down and change that back to as material to update our style. Now let's take a look at deleting features. So to delete a feature, I can simply right-click on its name in the browser and select Delete from the menu. And do I want to delete the consumed sketch? And if there are no dependent features on that, it'll get deleted. If I came back here, for example, and deleted out the cylinder, and I too will delete all the dependencies that it has. But there's a slight issue that's happening with this now. You'll notice on the top portion of Inventor, the red cross is now active, and in the browser I have the eye that tells me that there's something that's inconsistent here. let's run through the recover option. And I can unhighlight the issue here. And Inventor is going to suggest what I should do is edit that sketch. And if I expand that extrusion 3, you'll see that Inventor took me right into that sketch. I'm going to delete out that line because that line was actually developed from the cylinder. That, of course, was deleted. So I'm just going to replace that with a line. Update that. You'll notice that the red cross is gone, and so is the symbol inside the browser. So next, what I want to do is I want to change the way that this part was developed here. So instead of doing an extrusion, I want to make a dramatic change. And I'm going to delete the base extrusion. And what I want to do is I want to create a revolve from that. So we have a couple different options here for the consumed sketches and features. So if I uncheck both of those, you'll see what's happening here is it left the plane that existed here and the original sketch. So in this case, I don't need that work plane. So I'm also going to go ahead and delete that. And that secondary one. So now I'm left with the original sketch. And that's perfect. That's exactly what I want. So I'm going to change this to a revolve. And for the axes, I'm going to select that outside line. And let's change it to an angle and change it to 180 degrees.